We'd see Gary here too.
Okay, it is 6 p.m. on January 7th, 2026. Call to order the business meeting for the Cokerville City Council. The first, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Chamberlain. Then we'll do the statement of belief or opening prayer by Councilmember Cressley.
All rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our eternal Father in heaven, we are so very grateful to be here tonight to represent our city. And we pray for thy blessings to be upon us as a new city council, that we might be able to listen and learn from our fellow citizens, that we might be willing to understand their concerns and work with all who are willing to work with us. We pray for thy hand to guide and direct us in all our decisions, that they will be for the good of the city. We're thankful for all of the blessings that thou bestows upon us in our cute little Tokerville Valley. We're grateful for all that thou gives us each day. We say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay, looking for a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda order.
I second that.
Okay, we've got a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, disclosures and declarations of any conflicts of council members or the mayor. Items on our agenda this evening.
None.
Okay, stating none. Okay, item C, review and possible approval of the meeting minutes for December 17th, 2025 City Council. We actually only have 3 council members that were in attendance for that meeting. Did you have an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes, I'll make a motion, Mayor, that we approve the meeting minutes from December 17, 2025 City Council meeting.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And item D, city department reports. We have Ash Creek Special Services District. Mike Chandler's here.
Well, Mike's not here,
Mike's not
but
here.
I'm the better looking version.
Okay.
You can tell him I said that too. No. So coming up with our treatment plant that we're building there in Confluence Park, we have a ribbon cutting. You are all invited. It's February 2nd is when it is. And so, yeah, so we'll be doing that. And then, but before that, we're starting commissioning of the treatment plant. So that's clean water commissioning is what it is. So we're running clean water through the treatment plant just to make sure it all functions properly before we start turning the dark water into it. Because, yeah, nobody wants to mess with that. Anyways, so the next about 3 weeks, we're working on that process with that, like to say, the clean water commissioning. And then we'll have the ribbon cutting, like I say, February 2nd. And then we'll turn the dirty water in on, I think, just right after that, either like the 4th or 5th after the ribbon cutting is when we'll be up and running with the dirty water. So it's coming along quickly.
Well, good.
But that's all I have to report for tonight.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And Hurricane Valley Fire District Representative.
Yes, good evening.
Robert Hooper.
Robert Hooper, yeah. No
What is-
longer
what is your
Merlin
rank?
Smith.
What is your rank?
What's that?
What's your rank?
Battalion chief.
Huh?
Battalion chief.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll say it's Chief Hooper.
No, yeah.
I'm retired law enforcement, so
Yeah.
talk to me. So,
I'll stay where I'm at. Not much to report. I don't want to use the S word for slow, but December was not that word. It was kind of a slow month. So kind of in a lull now. The other day we kind of met on House Bill 48, which I don't know if you guys are aware is the wildland interface bill. So we're trying to work through some of that stuff, the verbiage and the assessments and stuff like that. So stay tuned on more on that. But other than that, nothing too exciting with the district. So
How many calls in Tocqueville did you?
I think there was only 6 in December.
26.
6.
6.
And we've been doing like,
26, we're in trouble.
yeah, we've been doing 2 to 3 times that. So
we like it when you guys are quiet. So.
yeah, right. That's a good thing.
All right, Assistant City Manager LaFever.
So really just a few things is we're finishing up with the Parkway. Meeting with UDOT here towards the middle of the month to talk about the final steps. Most of the signs are up. There's still got a few of the signs that UDOT is going to be installing. The wire that we're talking about, the infamous TDS wire across the cut, was supposed to come down before Christmas. They did not get their permit in time from UDOT, so they pushed it till supposed to be tonight. But I've called everyone and nobody's heard anything from TDS or their contractor. So I guess it'll come down when it comes down. But everything there, like I say, we're making our final steps. We're looking at a few final things with the contractor and our the engineer with Stanley Consultants. Those types of things. The water district is moving along as Wayne. I'll try to have some photos for you guys next in 2 weeks. Some aerial photos so that you can see kind of the progress of what's going on there with that. It's pretty amazing. It looks like there's a lot of water in it right now. It's just the liner, which they haven't covered up with dirt yet. And there's a lot of construction going on in there. Boulder Ridge is continuing forward. They're trying to get their paving done, but I think they're kind of hitting a window where we're starting to hit temperatures, and there's a lot of things that they just have not been able to quite finish up with the construction of getting crossings under the streets and different things such as that. So until we see really weather, I was looking at next week, it doesn't look like it has to be 50 degrees and rising for them to pave. Next week, I think the highs are in the high 40s, low 50s. So I don't know that they're going to hit that. We'll just keep it, they'll probably go day by day, but they're pushing hard. And we're working with the attorneys as well as the engineers and surveyors to make sure that the plats and everything are working out correctly and that we're getting all the reports and tests and everything we need. So that's moving along. If you can see IME automations, those walls are going up. Kind of a fun thing to see those concrete being put, and so excited to have that as well. And like I say, the district, you see the continue operations of the dirt moving from one side of the road to the other side of the road, and from Hurricane, the clay for the liners. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions, comments for me.
Is there an agenda out for the UDOT meeting, or is there going to be? What else?
There is not an agenda, but there's I can get you that email that talks about the points, the points that they want to talk about.
Okay.
That'll be like the finishing steps or closing and next steps. And we've always had a councilman and the mayor at those meetings. That's the partner meeting that we've had for the last year and a half.
Been no changes since that email was put out? No additions?
It'll,
No.
like the points of the topic will be added and changed until like right up to the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go to the meeting and just briefly talk about it.
So you have your DTAC meeting?
Yeah.
Or DTAC, sorry. Meeting, and then it'll be right after that meeting. So you'll be in that meeting with UDOT as well. So Cameron and Kirk will be there at your previous meeting, and then the next one goes to that.
There's one item that's been added since that email went out, and that's related to signage on Tooker Boulevard because of the inconsistency in speed limits.
Okay.
So that will be discussed at that meeting as well.
Okay.
The most recent water line break, the TRE this morning, is that ours or is that the water district?
That was a failure of a recent repair on the TSWS system.
So that's the water district that fixed it?
It is.
Okay.
And then city manager.
I have 2 items to report. The last day of leaf pickup is this coming Tuesday and Wednesday. So Choya and South will be on Tuesday. North of Choya will be on Wednesday. So that's the final kind of leaf sucking of the year. So get all the leaves out in the street. The other item may be a little bit of a weightier item than leaves. As you know, the fiscal year ends on June 30th for Utah cities, and financial reports are due to the state auditor by December 31st. I believe everybody's aware that the state auditor issued an auditor alert. A draft auditor alert is the technical term they're using for public infrastructure districts as it relates to component unit reporting. They asked for a response from the city by December 18th, which we as a city provided, substantiated by government accounting standards. And we have yet to hear back from the state auditor regarding that opinion. As of right now, we have a situation where our auditor is holding off on issuing financial statements until we receive an affirmation from the state auditor's office. We have 2 auditors here, so our financial auditor and then the state auditor. So as of right now, we have we have a prepared financial audit with 1 asterisk, and that being that the public infrastructure district disclosure is unclear what the state auditor is expecting right now. This is so kind of an open item, and as soon as this item is closed, the financial auditor will be able to issue our financial statements. I anticipate this will be done within the next few weeks. The reason that this was such a delay was simply because the state auditor issued this statement a few weeks. I mean, it gave us very, very short notice before the deadline for the end of the fiscal year. And as I've talked to other cities about this, and auditors from other cities are also holding their final financial statements. And so this is not unique to Tokerville City. The majority of other cities that have public infrastructure districts are created are also in a holding pattern waiting for the state auditor to issue those statements. So if that all made sense, it's essentially to say that we currently have not issued financial statements and we are now past the deadline. So just wanted council and the public to be aware of that.
So is that whether we put the PIDs on our books or not?
That's correct. And there are, whether they're blended, whether it's reported as a blended component unit, a discretely reported component unit, or as a note, these are all kind of very technical government accounting standards. I believe we have a defensible position that they should simply be disclosed in a note, not any further than that. And that's what we're waiting to hear back on.
Well, and I will pass on it in a mayor's meeting the other day. The concern was that if we carry them on our books, we hold no liability, but it is assumed we have liability if we're carrying it on our books. And that's a concern from the other mayors that were brought up.
There are significant concerns if it were to be disclosed, as the state auditor is implying. The first of which being that it would eat up our debt capacity. We would no longer, essentially, we've created 8 public infrastructure districts. We would no longer be able to issue debt as a city. Our debt capacity, constitutional debt capacity limit would be exhausted by our public infrastructure district. That's the biggest concern. The other one is our ability to borrow at good rates, our credit rating, that sort of thing. So it is a big concern. We want to make sure that it's resolved. So.
And we've had no feedback at all from the state auditor?
No traction yet, no.
Okay.
With the, you had more, or can I ask a question?
That's all that I have. Thank
With
you.
the leaves pickup, they're doing a great job. While they're out there, can they also address our storm drains that need to be cleaned out also?
I appreciate that feedback. I'll pass it along.
And then one other item, we approved tree height for our city. So now that all the leaves are down, it might be an appropriate time to address some of those issues, since it might be easier just to have residents or the city remove branches when it's not spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else from any council members? Okay, we'll now open the public forum part of the meeting. You can come up and speak to any issue. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please address the microphone and state your full name and address. Please note there will be no responses by any city official during this time. For specific questions, please contact staff directly. Do we have anyone that would like to address us at this time? Okay. Item F1, business item, discussion on water leak communication and relief process. And it's Hannah is addressing this one. It's all yours.
Okay, so yes, my name's Hannah Bowling. I'm the deputy treasurer. And a little bit of background on our meter situation. So we are very fortunate to have been fully AMI converted in Tokerville for all of our water meters. And these are known as also smart water meters. And that is because they provide electronic reads. And this allows residents to, which I heard many of you talking about it, connect to your water meter electronically. And you can see the current status of your meter, like your water use statistics and also leak alerts. So residents can do this through Ion Water. And this is a smartphone app and also a browser. And you just need your account number and an email address to sign up for this. And right now, only about 25% of our residents are signed up on Ion Water. So to help get the word out, we have started notifying those who have potential leaks. So in October, we started using Yopify to send these notices. They created a program for leak notifications that connects to Ion Water. And so once a leak is detected that meets our minimum threshold, which is 10 gallons per hour, that it's potentially leaking. It's also known as continuous flow. That meter will flag and that will prompt us to contact that resident. So we attempt that contact through email, text message, and voice message. And this is an example of what the resident might receive. It'll vary a little bit depending on the severity of that leak. But once we attempt that contact, that leak will be flagged as outstanding or an idle. And depending on the severity of the leak, that will be an idle for 7 to 30 days. And then if it is resolved and the leak is fixed, it's no longer detecting it, it'll be flagged as resolved. If it's not, it'll be moved on to step 2 and receive the next round of contact through the same fields. So in the 3 months that we've been doing this, we've seen 77 leak events resolved. And we also now have 12 new Ion Water users. So that's about 1 new user per week, where in the past it was only about 1 or 2 per month. So we've seen quite an increase, which is really, really good. And 2 things that residents can do to help us with this is they can sign up for Ion Water. It's completely free. They can also update their account information on our website. So the little I in the circle is Yopify. And if you click on that and that first link at the top that says add or update contact information is where you can put in your preferred contact information, so email address, or phone number, and you can also select your preferred contact method. So if you don't want us to email you, you can select that, or if you prefer a phone call or a text message, you can specify that. The last thing I have is our leak relief program. So this program applies to anyone who has experienced a leak that's been over 10,000 gallons. And that leak has since been fixed. So only once it's fixed can you apply for this. But you can get 2 months worth of the overage. So whatever leaked over 10,000 gallons of water, you can receive half of that charge credited back to you. And this year, we had 7 residents participate in the program, and we credited back about $4,000 to residents. So, yeah.
How do you apply? You have to actually apply, or do you just say I fixed the leak, or how do you prove you fixed the leak?
Yes. So there is a form that we have to have signed, and it goes through like your account information. It breaks down the usage for you and what your credit will be. And then we can have that signed either like electronically, or if you want to come in and sign it as well. We just have to receive your request for it first.
So it's an automated system that notifies somebody in the city. Who is it in our,
So for the leaks or for the leak relief?
for the leaks?
So for the leaks, it notifies the resident. We keep track of it daily, myself and also our public works crew. We are checking it constantly. Yopify updates every day with all the leaks in the past 24 hours, and then it will prompt that these are the new leaks. It classifies them by severity. So it's small, moderate, significant, and major, and then it curates their messages off of that.
So it notifies them, but if they aren't signed up for Ion Water, we get notified, do we not?
Oh, so we get notified on every leak. So Ion Water, you will receive notifications if you're signed up. If you're not, you will receive the messages, which in those messages it also prompts you to sign up for Ion Water. So we are the ones who send out those first messages for non-Ion Water users. But Ion Water, you have complete customization over your notifications after.
So the worry would be if you had a leak on Friday evening, we aren't going to see it until.
Monday. Yeah, I usually check them every morning.
So it's everybody's signed up.
It is, yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
The,
Questions for you.
yeah, I got a question. Me? Go, Wayne.
Yes.
10 gallons an hour notification. That's what you said. That's a lot of gallons in a day to not to notify us.
Yes, so we have just found and kind of, we actually got Yopify. They work with most of the cities here in Washington County, and that was kind of the standard. So anything less than 10 gallons per hour, we find that they're really hard to pinpoint for people. And at that point, it doesn't usually put them over that 10,000 gallon per month threshold. So that was kind of the standard that we've kind of found works for everyone here. So
You're saying that under 10 does not exceed 10,000 gallons at 30 days, 24 hours a day?
not usually. So it's, I want to say,
It does, because I just went through this. I would suggest we have more earlier warning. My Iowa water
Okay.
tells me if it's 0.2 gallons an hour, it alerts me.
yes, yeah. And
But-
on Ion Water, you can thankfully customize it to as low as you'd like to receive those alerts.
But I fought this for 3 months and it leaked for a long time, but we didn't get a notice that it was leaking until 30 days. That had been leaking for 30 days. So you're going to have more earlier updated warning for these people now?
We can update that, yeah. So our standard has just been the 10 gallons, but we can always adjust that. So currently Yopify pulls in anything that's 3 gallons an hour or more. So we do, usually in the small category, we don't always send those messages because they are fairly low and they idle for 30 days before it triggers step 2 if they haven't been fixed. So we can always address that too. If we want to change that threshold to even smaller leaks.
I think
It's
I think
completely
you should change the
customizable,
threshold
thankfully.
Because for me, if you're wasting 9 gallons or 10 gallons an hour, you're wasting a lot of water. There's no sense waiting to 10,000 factor. Let them know early.
Sure,
I
yeah, we
lower
can
that
adjust that.
threshold and that's part of conserving water.
Yeah,
Because we went a long time and it was 28,000 gallons over. And that was a little leak.
I think it's also important to remember that
I think
we're
the
in the,
threshold should
we're in
be
the
lower.
early stages of implementation here. So Yopify, these leak notifications, you said 3 months. Is
yes, yeah, we started the first week of October, so.
And so well, I think what we're finding is that there's a lot of a lot of the low hanging fruit we take care of early and it's able to be resolved. And then as we can tighten it up as more time goes on, get closer to that zero out gallon per hour.
Yes, and thankfully it's been successful so far, so we can definitely adjust that.
Yeah, I don't think you want to start at 10 because that's a lot of wasted water.
Sure, yeah, we can adjust that.
I think you compare staff time too. I don't know what it's going to take. I understand the water side of it. And
Yeah.
the cost side on the cities there too, but water right now is being one of our primary resources. that
Yeah, it is.
we're waste
Anything we
on.
can do to conserve it is going to be a plus. I wish everybody would just sign up to it because but a lot of these older people don't have emails and things like that, but I don't know how we can encourage them to
And then
citywide to push for this.
Yes, and once you get signed up for Ion Water, you can do email or text notifications through that as well. So even if you happen to know you just need an account number and an email to sign up for it. So like your parents, if you wanted to sign up for them, if you have their account number, that is something you can link. You can have multiple meters under your same Ion Water account, thankfully.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Can you incentivize it by saying, if you sign up for this, you get, I don't know, a $10 credit back on your.
We have considered that, yes, yeah.
it's also important to remember that Yopify, so we're talking about two different tools. Ion Water is opt-in. You have to go in and actually do something proactive. Yopify is kind of a more broad. We are pushing information into Yopify, and so that's proactive. You actually don't even have to sign up in order to participate in Yopify.
Yes.
Do you want to explain what Yopify is?
Yeah, Yopify is the system where the information, where the messaging is being pushed. And so they will identify, this is the text message. If they don't have a compatible cell phone, it'll go to email, and it'll even be an automated phone message. So it's kind of using all available tools, contact information we have. And if I remember right, Yopify is saying it's about 90%.
Yes,
and
yeah.
9 times out of nine out of 10, they're able to get a hold through some mechanism.
This is a program that the city supports and does.
Yeah, it was grant funded by the state.
Right.
And I mean, it is a kind of a side note that it will no longer be funded via grant. So it will be likely a budgeting decision here in the upcoming fiscal year as to whether or not the city would like to continue funding this program.
And Yopify, it doesn't just do leaks. So any like community messages or text messages that you receive from us, they come through Yopify as well. So it's been a really good tool for us. They just happened to roll out this leak process. So we've been taking advantage of it while we have it.
And we've used that for like emergency.
Street
texts or what have you,
closures.
Street closures, yeah, all that stuff.
Yes, yeah.
I had a question or two or a comment. One was the relief process, which
1,000 gallons.
we tabled last month, correct? Part of the utilities that you
So
submitted?
that was for delinquencies. So this is separate from that.
Okay.
So this is not in code or anything. This is just like it would be an agreement from the city with the resident
Okay.
that allows them to have that 50% credited back to them for 2 months of that
Okay.
leak duration.
And then my other comment, and this is just a comment, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how we're going to be able to fix this, but so like for me, I have culinary and TSW as secondary
Mm-hmm.
water. So unfortunately, both systems use Ion Water.
Yes.
So in order for me to get a notification, I got to pick which one I'm going to be signed into. So I sign into my culinary water, but if I want to see what I'm using on the secondary side, I have to literally sign out of the Ion Water app. And then I've got to sign in on the Ion Water app under a different username, a different password in order to access TSWS.
I do think there is a way to have multiple meters on the same account because I know some of our commercial accounts do that where they have multiple meters at the same service
Yeah,
address.
so according
but-
to, I understand what you're saying.
I can
According
answer,
to
I can
the-
answer that question. So in the Water Conservatory District is working on a bridge for Tokerville city residents to pull that underneath there, but the bridge isn't available yet.
Yeah, so
So
and
it's
what I
coming.
can say, yeah, and that's good that they're working on it. And I talked to TSW or the water district also, and they said, yeah, right now we don't have that system available. Because you're right, the app does do it, but it has to be from the same entity. You could have multiple accounts under the same entity, the city or the water district.
I see,
You
yeah.
can't have one water district, one city.
I wasn't aware of that. So thank you for letting me know, both of you.
So that's all I got, Mayor.
Anything else?
Yeah. Hannah,
Yes.
thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me
thank
know if you
you,
have any
Hannah.
questions.
Oh, we have just one more. We
Oh,
have
yes.
sent mailers out on Ion.
We haven't since they've been installed. I do try to include it every time we don't have an event. I try to include a little snippet and link on the utility bills, but we can definitely always do a mailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sent them out again with utilities.
Sure.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, we can do that. Any other questions?
Thank you. Good
Okay,
job.
thank you.
Okay, item 2, discussion of possible action on resolution 2026-XX, non-irrigation user water policy. This is Ben.
It is. Pull up a power slide here to keep me on track. So we are discussing this historic water policy for users that don't have the ability to connect to the secondary water system in Tocqueville. There we go. So just to provide a brief overview of what this policy is. As you know, Tocqueville secondary water system users pay an annual flat fee. That assessment is currently it really depends on your lot size what that fee is, but it provides you essentially an unlimited connection to water during a certain time of day, during 8 months out of the year, the watering season. So for users that do not have the ability to connect to this secondary water system, many years ago, according to our historian next to me here, it's been at least 15 years that this policy has been in place, where you can pay the city that equivalent annual assessment and you get a discounted rate on your, you receive an additional base of water usage. So instead of 10,000, you receive 30,000 before you're charged the incremental rate for 3,000 gallons of culinary water, drinking water. Correct. So this historic practice was ratified by a resolution in 2021 and then clarified further in 2024. We have some incongruity with clicking here. That's okay. It's throwing me off. So resolution 2024.18, one thing that I would want to point out, and the reason that there are a few reasons this is being brought up this evening. The first of which, and probably most important, well, first of all, it's because the letters going out to these users would be going out this week. And so it's kind of, from what I understand, it's always a discussion internally about how we move forward with this program. So that's why it's in front of us tonight. This resolution in 2024 and the resolution in 2021 did not define this as an opt-in program. It was if you read it literally, it's a fee that all non-irrigation water users pay and then receive this modified rate. It's not optional. It's essentially mandatory. I believe the intent of it and the historic use of this was that it's opt-in only. But if we are to interpret it literally, there's no letter that goes out because we simply charge every user $629 and then they have this modified rate. One thing that I would point out is that this policy, this is something that I'm going to mention a couple times. This policy is an exception to a cost of providing service rate structure that is currently implemented. So the idea of a fee structure is basically for a city to recoup all costs of providing that service so that it's not being subsidized through some other means. And when you do a rate study, that's the primary basis for establishing a rate. You're trying to recover the cost of providing water to our residents. This policy bypasses that. It's basically saying there is some policy exception that we should make because there's a good basis for it. Are you advancing or am I?
I don't think yours is working.
Oh, is that what's happening? So I will subtly say, advance slide, please. I'll look at you to press the button. That's exactly what's happening. Okay, so this state code, Title 10A22, it establishes the basis by which a city can do this. You can establish a differential cost structure for a number of different reasons. The first, and I provided a couple examples that are provided here in state code just because it's important to establish as a foundation. So a difference of, if there's a difference in cost of providing water to Cholla versus TRE, you can charge those two different areas a different classification of water rate. If there's more risk in one area, say if it's an older system, you can charge a different water rate. And this is the third one that is kind of important to understand. If there is a basis for an economic or public policy or other identifiable reasons, you can implement a different classification of rate structure, which is exactly what the city has done here historically. I think it's important to note that under this practice, under a public policy practice, you are now bypassing the cost of providing service. You're acknowledging that you have this public policy for a reason other than recovering the cost of providing service. So I think it's just, what I'm trying to say here is that it's very important that we understand that by having this policy in place, the users that take advantage of this are no longer paying a rate to recover the cost of providing the service. It's a public policy for a different reason. So this begs the question then, are users that are connected to TSWS subsidizing these users that are not connected to TSWS? And I think I've come to a conclusion on this, but it's ultimately, as policymakers, a decision for you guys to make on how to move forward with this policy. So what I wanted to do is identify, and I'll go through this really quickly. So if the new rate that TSWS has established for a 1 acre lot is $629 per year. I'll probably burn through the next couple pretty quick. So assuming that a base household uses 5,000 gallons per month, and we have an 8-month irrigation season, the break-even point for this user is 18,500 gallons of outdoor water usage. So about 23,500 gallons of total water use. That's when it's worth it to pay this $629 to Tocqueville City to get this special rate. So if it's more than 18,500 gallons, the irrigation users, those people on TSWS, are actually subsidizing the cost of providing this drinking water to be used for outdoor watering purposes. If you're using less than 18,500 gallons, the user paying this $629 is actually subsidizing the system. And as you'll see in the next slide, we actually have a mix of both. Some people pay the fee and shouldn't be paying the fee, and some people are very much taking advantage of the program. So we have 102 eligible users. So 102 connections in the city are eligible for this program.
So the 102, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The 102 that are eligible are the ones that do not have TSWS.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Did they
And they are in a recorded subdivision.
Okay.
Plat
and did they
subdivision.
ever have the opportunity to get TSWS, or it just?
No.
No.
They did.
Outside the service area.
They were outside that service area.
Never had service there.
So another reason that this is in front of us tonight for consideration, among all the other reasons, is that the participation is actually quite low. And administering the program takes a bit of effort. We have a different rate structure set up in our system. We're sending out letters. Not to complain, but it's a little bit of work to accomplish this program every year. So 16 connections participated in 2025. And only 6 of those 16 were actually on the side of receiving a financial benefit before this. So that is to say that 10 users paid into the program, but would have been better off financially by not participating in the program because they didn't use that threshold of water.
Did you call them and tell them thanks?
Yeah, exactly. The 6 users should, not to call anyone out, but Darren is one of those users that shouldn't have paid the fee. He is, thanks, Darren.
I'm a giver. I
Appreciate
it.
You're a contributor.
I'll take you to lunch.
All right. So as you know, TSWS recently increased this annual assessment. Assuming the 2025 water usage, only 4 of those 6 participants this year would actually receive the benefit of this program because costs are going up of that flat rate. So it's just diminishing. The value of this program is diminishing over time. So what's in front of council tonight, I would say, are 4 options. The first is the proposed option that's included in your packet this evening. That would eliminate this policy altogether. Essentially, the letters just wouldn't go out. This fee structure would be eliminated. We would be, that resolution in 2024 and 2021 would be overridden by this resolution. The second option is, I think that it's important to clarify this. If the council desires to continue this policy, to keep it in place, we would still have to amend it because we would want it to be an opt-in program. I don't think it would be well received by the public to make this the mandatory program as it's written, knowing that there's so many users that actually don't benefit from it. A third option is kind of a hybrid approach where users could continue to get the benefit. There could be some tightening of this benefit where it's like over time we're reducing the benefit. So say this year we cut the benefit in half, the 30,000 gallon allowance could be cut down to 20,000. And then next year it could be kind of a soft approach to eliminating it is one option. And the final option, and this is the do nothing option. So we bill all non-irrigation users this annual fee of $629, and everybody gets that. All 102 users would get this benefit. That's again, as the resolution's drafted. So this is if we do nothing. That's all that I had for a presentation. Thank you.
So on the secondary water, what's the rate increases been like? I mean, how often do they come in?
The rate's been increasing about 30% every year.
Okay.
To cover the shortfall that the Water Conservancy District has been paying for the Tokerville secondary water system. The contract ends in 2029, 2028?
2027.
So yeah, so by 2028, we have to take over the water system, and we're trying to make it to where the city doesn't absorb the extra $200,000+. So that's why we've been increasing the rates.
Okay. So assuming a 30% increase continues, if it's been going that way?
Probably our plan this year on the TSWS is not to do a 30%, it's to do about a 5%.
Okay.
So we think we've reached a level with, maybe we have some other work to do on that, depending on some other prices, but we're planning on about a 5% increase this year, and that's it.
Those 30% ones were like a catch up,
It's to catch
high
up.
increases for a few years to catch up to
Yeah.
get.
So there's 4 increases, and there's only been 6 increases in the 30-year existence of the system.
So I guess where I was kind of trying to head to on this is if it continues, let's say it goes up 5% per year, how long until even those 4 wouldn't,
This year,
it wouldn't be, it would be this
probably
year?
this year or next year.
So there wouldn't even really be a reason to phase it,
Yes.
because in a year, they're gonna be,
Last year would have been better.
it would have been foolish anyway, right?
Yeah, I watched it last, I thought about it last year and thought, well, looking at my usage to the previous year, going, this probably isn't really a good thing, but
The ordinance did say that it's mandatory, so I figured I had to do it.
You like Tokerville so much, you gave us some money.
I'm just
Well, I'm just saying, if we did eliminate it, I mean, we're gonna essentially hurt 4 people for a year. And we're gonna benefit all the others that signed up for it that shouldn't have in reality, because they haven't worked out the financial side of it.
Right.
Correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
It looks like there's a fair amount of numbers that you just don't know, because if there's only that many participants that are working on it, 16 or whatever, out of 102, there's a number that we don't know, a big number. But if they're not willing to look into it themselves, then
Well, I think we're all pretty confident that we're not gonna go with bill everybody. So it's gotta be
Right.
amended or done away with essentially.
Do we know the number of the 116 that would actually benefit by claim?
I didn't look into that. No.
it's a lot of data.
it's really up to them.
And you also.
I'm for number 1.
Every TWS user paid $2,000+ just in a cut.
That's a good point. Yep.
What is that? How does that work? What Stacy said.
Essentially, what's being suggested there is that there was a buy-in cost to TSWS that these users that are benefiting from this program didn't pay into.
Okay.
Would our whole program be more consistently cost of service based if we get rid of this?
Yes.
And I was actually one of the people that was around when, and as well as Wayne. I do not remember paying into having to get it. I remember selling my share.
When they originally did it, when you sold your shares, you got a connection, and then anybody that didn't have a connection could buy a 1-inch connection for $500.
Yeah,
That 1-inch connection is now
yeah,
$7,000.
it's quite a bit.
Or something.
I don't know.
That's quite a bit.
And with the connections, out of the entire city right now, there's only 102 that don't have TSWS. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Well,
But But Firelight is coming on without TSW.
That number is subject to expand.
Right.
Yeah. So our
Dramatically.
exposure here, I mean, we are talking about additional exposure with
Right.
future development.
Correct. Okay. And then,
But you got to remember the new water efficiency standards will be applied to all of Firelight.
Right.
And all of this, so that,
yeah,
and not just the fire or the water restrictions, you're the landscape and outside watering, that we've adopted already.
right.
So for them to be able to take advantage of anything like this is going to be impossible.
Okay.
Impossible.
Right. Okay. And then out of the TSWS, Joey, maybe you can, how many is ag versus residential? Do we know approximately?
No, I don't remember that number.
We will get to know that in the next probably 6 to 8 months as we get into the numbers of looking at TSWS
Okay.
and the takeover.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'd like to make it fair.
Yeah.
I'd like to eliminate it. Because I paid for mine.
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion?
I'm inclined
that motion.
the same way because of the making it consistent with the cost of service basis. I think that's very logical for a city.
Okay,
And to
so
be consistent.
Wayne, you want to make a motion and?
Yeah, we're talking resolution 2026 XX, huh?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026.XX, a resolution eliminating the seasonal expanded culinary water base rate users without secondary irrigation service.
I second the motion.
Is this a roll or is this just a
Money.
full vote?
You could call roll call anytime you want.
Okay, let's do a roll call, starting with
Aye.
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 and no opposed. So the resolution passes. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action on resolution 2026 XS, Zion Bank signatory update. This you again, Ben?
Yeah, I can take this one. So this is something that our bank requires just anytime there's a transition of elected officials. So here on that second page, you can see the current membership of the Tocqueville City Council, and below that, the appointed officers, that being staff, and then who the signers are. So this being Mayor Catlin, myself as city manager, Darren as the assistant city manager, and Ruth as the city treasurer. So these are the signers on the bank account. People that can go sign checks, everything's 2 signatures required as just so you're aware as a level of oversight.
Any questions on this one?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2026.XX, Zion's Bank signature update.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, resolution passes. Next is discussion and possible action on appointing a Tocqueville City Mayor Pro Tempore for 2026 through 2027. This is open for nominations from any council member or another council member.
I nominate Joey.
I saw, yeah.
Who you nominate?
I'll accept the nomination.
You will?
Yep.
All those in favor of Councilmember Campbell being Mayor
On
Pro
one
Tempore?
condition, you can only miss one meeting a year.
Apparently he hasn't been briefed that he did not have the
Seconded.
opportunity to put conditions on it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any motion for
You
the
did that one,
resolution passes?
didn't you?
I did.
Well, that only makes sense.
All right, business item number 5, discussion and possible action on resolution 2026 XS, Washington County Solid Waste District Representative. On that, I propose that Councilmember Pressler be the representative for our city on the solid waste.
I accept.
Make a motion that we approve Councilwoman Pressler for the Washington County Solid Waste District Representative.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the resolution passes. Item number 6, discussion of possible action on resolution 2026XX, Ash Creek Special Service District Representative appointment. It has been Councilmember Campbell. I think we should continue with Councilmember Campbell being on that board.
Yep, I'd like to continue on that board if everybody wants it.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve Councilman Campbell for the Ash Creek Special Service District.
I think the mayor is also on this one, so it's both. There's a mayoral representative in you.
Well, that's, yeah, and on that board, it is required that the mayor is on that board, correct?
Yeah,
And I believe
we get that on the mayoral appointments, right?
the resolution contemplates both positions.
Oh, does it?
Okay.
So, all right, I'll amend my motion that we approve Councilman Campbell and Mayor Catlin as Ash Creek Special Service District representatives.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Discussion and possible action on resolution 2026XX Southwest Mosquito Abatement and Control Representative appointment. That has been Councilmember Sands. I say we keep Councilmember Sands in that position.
I'm happy to continue.
I'll second it.
Then you gotta make a
I'll
motion.
make,
first.
I'll make a motion first. Wayne, how's that? I make a motion that we retain
Cutting corners
Councilmember
around here.
Sands
Yeah.
for the Southwest Mosquito Abatement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passed. Discussion and possible action on resolution 2026 Hurricane Valley Fire District Representative appointment. In the past, that was Mayor Sipp. I propose that we have Councilmember Sands take that position where he has been a retired firefighter. It makes sense to me.
I'm happy to serve on the Hurricane Valley Fire District Board.
Do we have a motion?
I so move that we designate him as that.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, resolution passed. Item number 9, discussion of possible action on resolution 2026 mayoral appointments, which we essentially have just gone through, correct?
Yeah. Well, there's plenty more.
There's a few more on there.
Okay. We're coming into the planning commission.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve all the mayoral appointments to take the rest of your time away from your life.
These are your boards and committees.
It's a lot of lists.
Well, you made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Did that cover planning commission also, or is that?
No.
Still
All
have
right,
planning
I'm just
commission.
making sure. All right, item number 10, discussion of possible appointments to planning commission 4-year term. I propose that we have Glenn Levitt come from alternate. He's the number 1 alternate, be 4-year on the planning commission.
I accept.
Don't you just appoint?
I propose that we have
Don't you just
Glenn
appoint them, or
Levitt.
do we?
What?
Oh, it's in consideration of the council, right? Yeah.
You're right. Keep going.
Yes, keep going.
I propose that we appoint Glenn Levitt as a planning commissioner for a 4-year term.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'm going to give a bit of an explanation why we have a 4-year and a 1-year on this one. In code, it calls out that those positions on the planning commission are staggered, so they all don't go out at the same time. In order to do that, we would have actually needed to do a 5-year, which we're not allowed to do. So we've done Glenn as 4-year and proposing that Mila Ellenson come in on a 1-year term she was the second alternate on the planning commission.
I accept. That's an invitation.
Yeah, it is an invitation. I just wanted you to understand why it was a 4-year and a 1-year. So, okay,
I propose that we appoint Mila Allenson as a 1-year term on the planning commission.
I second that.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item number 12, discussion of possible action on planning commission alternate for a 4-year term. I propose that Mark Welker be appointed as the first alternate. I did speak with Mark. He is willing to accept it.
Okay. I propose that we appoint Mark Welker as an alternate, 4-year term on the Planning Commission.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. It passes. Item 13, discussion on strategic planning process. Ben, this is you again?
This is me. The purpose of this agenda item, knowing that we're coming upon our budgeting and strategy sessions, I wanted to briefly discuss.
Like already again?
I know.
I just did it. It's every year.
I wanted first to point out on the city's website, which we have pulled up here, how to access the strategic plan. Under government, that first bullet point is strategic plan. And here's the first page is the overview, and then the second page is really the kind of the crux of the whole thing. There are 3 things that I wanted to discuss with council. The first being the format, the second being the location, and the third being the date and time. So I was looking for feedback from the council on what we wanted this year's strategic plan to look like, especially those that participated last year. Was it effective? Is there something that we could do different? I would say one thing that I would note is the strategic directive statement at the top right. That's generally a fixed statement unless there's a good reason that the council would like to change that. And then the 5 goals being, starting with managed growth and development and moving to the right. Those are typically, the goals will be sufficient for a 3 to 5 year period. Again, unless the council would like to change those. And what we're working on so we'll spend a fair amount of time this year in strategic planning, reviewing especially those goals that we don't anticipate finishing this year. And the reason we'll review those in depth is because we'll want to know, do we want to continue them into next year? Or is there a good reason just to eliminate them and replace them with something else? Because you have maybe a different vision than we had last year. And so it's going to look a little bit different because we do have this solid foundation for the city council in our strategic planning. And what that would open up, if desired, it would open up maybe some time for department reports, goals that each department would like to accomplish, maybe giving each department head 15 minutes to talk about what they're accomplishing, what they would like to accomplish in the next budget year. And again, the strategic planning is not a dollars and cents conversation. We're not actually saying, I would like to spend $5,000 on this. Rather, it's what would we like to accomplish as a city? And then that information should feed into the budget, and the budget should be justified based on our strategic plan. So it all kind of works in concert to accomplish our objectives. So all of that said, I'm essentially just the first question that I would have, did you like what we did last year and do you want to do it differently, or do you have any other ideas of what we'd like to do this year?
I think myself that it would be a great idea to do it the same way, because that was like, I learned a lot about it that when we did it that way. And when we got to the finished product, it was amazing, like to see how it all worked. And as far as like changing the directives and stuff like that, I think that's kind of up to the newer people too, because that was something that all the old council members brought in. And I think you wrote it and we did a tiny bit of word changing, but I'm not against that if we want to change it, but I really thought that was a great way to do it. I really did.
Okay.
You did or did not have the department heads come in last night?
We didn't, and that was due to time constraints. Typically, if you want it to be, we did 2 afternoons, about 4-hour sessions each, which is a lot of strategic planning.
Right.
What I've done in prior positions is 2 full days, which again, that's a lot. And depending how much time you want to give each department head. But that said, since we already have this foundation, we probably could have department heads reporting and still accomplish what we're doing here because we have this foundation, unless we're looking to make big changes to kind of the structure of the plan.
They were in attendance though.
They were in attendance,
Yeah.
but there was no department-specific conversations and reporting and that sort of
But they were all in attendance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I was thinking about that today, I think we could do a department, like talk about each department this time because we already had these things in place.
I would agree with Joey. I like the format. I thought that was good. One of the things that I'd like to see as we're going through this strategic planning is you have deadline dates on most everything that's here. So I'd like to see an evaluation of how we did with the deadlines that have passed versus how are we addressing the upcoming deadlines for stuff so we can get an idea of what we've been able to accomplish, the goals that we've set forth in the strategic planning as we're evaluating it. And also, like you said, going back and saying, well, yeah, maybe we don't want this now with the new council or something like that. But I think some sort of evaluation of where we're at and what we've done.
That's really good feedback. You may remember 3 months ago, I did a kind of a first quarter review, and it's really too much information to cover with the public here in a public setting, but it would be more appropriate to do that in the strategic planning session. So that's the feedback too.
Let me ask this, I know when we do the general plan, we get public citizens input into the general plan. On this, we're just going with the assumptions of what we all feel is best for the city and what to pursue.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we could get some citizens input on what their priorities are and make sure they mesh with ours? Not that we don't all know everything that everybody's thinking in our city, but I would like to see more presence from the citizens here so we can hear it, but.
Yeah, we could definitely, one way that we could approach this, when you are looking for feedback from the community, you don't want the ideas to be too baked yet. If we said, so my idea was maybe we could do this strategic planning session and then do a town hall.
Right.
Some of it needs to be on the capital's facility plan way prior to that time too, to even be able to fund them. So
Well, there's certain things that.
that's the hard part.
Yeah, the citizens input's not, some of it we're gonna have to do no matter what.
Yeah.
Right, but some of it, I think, if you put Westfield Park, you put some of this other stuff in there. You know, is that truly what the citizens of the city feel are the priorities? You know, and that's where I'm just trying to get to is,
So
if there is a way to do it, maybe it's not on this year's, but.
This is maybe shooting from the hip a little bit. What you could do is have your this city council could do our first strategic planning session, develop a draft of this, then conduct either like an online survey or an in-person town hall, get feedback from the community, and not schedule the second session until after that period is complete. And that would allow for some public input.
How big a timeline is that gonna put us in? Trying to do that sometime.
I'd have to work through the budget calendar, knowing that there's a bit of scheduling vacancy there at the end of February. It's possible that we could do this. So if we did one session at the end of January and then one session at the beginning of March, I think that could still work with the budgeting cycle. I would just have to make sure that we could meet all the deadlines still.
What's the rest of the council feel?
Good idea. Yeah, good idea. The more public input, the better.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, see if we can work that out.
Yeah, we'll plan it in that way. And I think that's probably a good segue into a date and time then, knowing that we are only scheduling one day in
We
January.
didn't accomplish much last year, did we? On our task there.
You better have that same voting thing.
We're still only midway through it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's running with the fiscal year, correct?
Yeah, we're running, yes, these strategic.
12
plans
months
are
in a summer.
We did a Thursday afternoon from 1 to 4 p.m. We could replace a city council meeting with strategic planning. We could do it on February 4th if desired. This is really just kind of subject to the council's availability. So I would say, I just would like to get it on the calendar tonight. If everybody can pull up their personalized calendar.
You're saying the end of January?
End of January or before February 9th is when we need to do the first session. Anytime before February 9th.
What if we do, so February 4th, maybe do how much time do you need on the first meeting?
We'd probably need 4 hours.
So if we did like maybe at 12 o'clock on the 4th and then do the regular city council meeting?
Do a marathon of a meeting day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your day's already messed up. I don't know.
We could try to keep it light, city council meeting that evening.
We could bring snacks.
Snacks.
Ben's buying dinner. What are you talking about?
Huh?
Ben's buying dinner.
Well, he can't use city funds, so.
Yeah. He's not. I said Ben, not the city.
Ben funds.
I think trying to get it out of the way prior to the council meeting would be a good idea. That way, like I say, it's all
One day.
get it done and get it out of the way. And if we end up rolling partly into the council meeting, it can,
I can tell you the second, third, fourth, like a lot of the city stuff, but either one, yeah.
February 4th.
Or we could do it the week before,
I can't do it on Thursday before.
Okay.
29th.
or the Wednesday before.
Does Wednesday mess up your work week or Wednesday
We
afternoon?
can accommodate anything as far as staff
Okay.
is concerned.
The 28th is not, if we did it on the 28th, it wouldn't be in, there's nothing else on the planning commissions in the third week, so that's the fourth.
That's right.
there's a
That's a
water
Wednesday.
conservancy district meeting at noon, so it'll be after that.
On the 28th.
Do 1 to 5 that day.
Afternoons for me. Good mornings.
If that's the AEC meeting, those typically go until 2.
Plus
putting us
drive over here.
back here
Oh.
at 2:30.
That's kind of late.
But we could do it, I mean, if desired, we could do like a 3 to 7, something like that.
Does that work?
I can do that.
We could do, we
28th
can
from 3 to
do,
7?
Yeah, that
or
works.
it's up to you guys.
Either.
What day?
Either's fine.
We're looking at the 28th or the 4th. 28th of January or the 4th of February.
It's both on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, the 28th, I think, work for most everybody from 3 to 7.
Yeah, that's fine.
You want to do it in one day or you want to do them 2 different days? That's what
It's 4 hours, let's get it done in one day.
So you want to do it on city council then?
Well, I was saying we're doing it on the 28th.
Oh, no, I was just saying, if you want to do, city council on a different, if you want to do the planning meeting on the 28th and do the city council separate, or if you want to just do the marathon day.
Let's do it at 28th and then city council by itself. That way,
28th, 3 to 7?
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Everybody all right?
Yeah.
That's February.
Right, after a public input period.
That's January.
And that's March,
January
early
29th.
March, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, thank you for that. And
Probably do that.
location, we'd probably just plan Old Town Hall again, if that works for everybody.
Do what?
Old Town Hall. Some cities will do kind of a retreat format where you're actually going off-site. I think just for cost savings reasons, typically we've just done it at Old Town Hall.
Actually, we did it in here. We did it in here.
That's right, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That was.
Because we needed all your audio visual aids that we
Yeah.
could see for the council, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'll actually hold it here in the chambers.
right.
Okay.
Okay. January 28th, 3 to 7 p.m.
Okay. Got it.
Appreciate the feedback. We'll move forward with that. Thank you.
Yep. And that's it for our current agenda. We do need to move into closed session this evening.
Mayor, make a motion to go into closed session to discuss litigation, security, property acquisition, or sell and/or the character and professional competence of a physical or mental health of an individual.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all very much.
Having a great. Good job. Congratulations.